Here's a little, what might be a fun video. By the way, we're going to stick on the subject a little bit, but it's going to be a more fun video. And this is why. So, it happened, guys. Sometimes the internet actually delivers. The Law and Crime Network YouTube channel, which is very popular, decided to bring actual Chris Hansen. Actual Chris Hansen. Having a little sit down to talk about the Dr. Disrespect situation. Now, if you guys don't know who Chris Hansen is, for anyone who might be a little too young to know who Chris Hansen is or anything like that, he used to run a show called To Catch a Predator, where he would regularly bait out and catch predators or shame them on the TV. And, rarely he'd be able to press charges. A lot of times. So what happened was he would hire people, and this would be like his entire group doing this, that would pretend to be minors. And they would bait out actual predators and, basically set up a fake meetup. And at that fake meetup, they would catch the predator. Because it's a fake meetup, a lot of times the charges were not able to be pressed. However, they were still known by law enforcement afterwards, and they were kept an eye on. And a lot of times they were at least, I can't even begin to imagine how many people that could have been and would have been, exploited children and exploited victims, and they just ended up not being that because the predators were kept under law surveillance, or were sometimes thrown in jail, sometimes charges were pressed, or were just known by the community for being fucking scumbags. So, yeah, it's a really good thing that Chris Hansen did, and so he's retired now. But I want to see what this video is, because I want to see what he thinks about the Dr. Disrespect situation. So let's see it, guys. Let's see it.
Now, Doc, I'm going to need you to have a seat right over there.
This is going to be wild.
Popular video game streamer who skyrocketed to fame in the last few years is experiencing a spectacular downfall after he was accused of messaging a minor on the streaming service Twitch.
Just to give context, he admitted to it. Completely admitted to it.
We're sitting down with renowned predator catcher Chris Hansen, who recently called out the man known online as Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. His profile on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Now, I've never seen Jesse Weber. I've never seen Sidebar. I've never seen Law and Crime. I just know it's a huge YouTube channel. So this is my first time watching one of their videos.
Calls him the most ruthless, athletic.
Exactly. Can you imagine? Oh my God, man. Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, the To Catch a Predator show, Chris Hansen would show up and be like, "Why don't you have a seat? Why don't you have a seat?" They'd be expecting to meet a kid to do, something terrible, like literally one of the worst acts a human being can do. Instead, in walks a complete adult named Chris Hansen, and he's like, walks in with authority, and he's like, "Why don't you have a seat? Law enforcement is outside. You're being taped. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this." And he'd basically make every predator into a pathetic, blubbering mess. I'm just imagining what he would do in this situation, man. I'm just imagining this scene from his TV show, but with Dr. Disrespect. Holy smokes, man. Guy Beam himself. Guy Beam is Dr. Disrespect's real name. It's a pathetic name as well.
Competitor in video game history. Dr. Disrespect is the colorful persona that belongs to 42-year-old Herschel Guy Beam. Now,
look at that. I think people should continue to post his real face everywhere. They should just continue to post his real face everywhere. Because, like, the mystique, so-called, of the wig and the glasses and the entire persona and the jacket and everything like that, I mean, it's just so pathetic. He's trying to act extra macho. Just show him for what he is. Just show him for his pathetic face, for what he is and who he is. Yeah, he just gives off creep vibes, doesn't he? Exactly. Exactly. Look at that.
Guy Beam. Now, if you're not really familiar with the gaming community, give you a perspective here. The Doc has risen in popularity so much over the years that he had more than 4 million subscribers on the streaming service Twitch. That was before his account was banned, which we're going to get into.
And then, like, also, continuing on forward, since his ban, for the last 4 years, he acted like a victim the entire time. Oh my god, I don't know why Twitch banned me. Oh my god, it was so unfair. Oh my god, I'm such a victim. You guys should follow me because I will tell it to you straight. I'm such a victim. He was the perpetrator. He was a freaking, like, almost, thank God he didn't actually get to do it, but he would have if he could have, a, God forbid, child molester the entire time. He was the perpetrator. He was never the victim. Oh my God, man. 4 years he acted the victim. 4 years.
So he first uploaded a video.
He grifted for 4 years. And if you look at his YouTube channel, 4.67 million followers on YouTube right now. 4.7 million people fell for it.
Dr. Disrespect channel in 2010, so he's been part of the public video gaming community or culture for a long time. His style mixes video gameplay and trash talking with cutaways of him in a costume that includes a wig, a headset, or helmet. And he apparently...
I think this also shows just how much people will fall for a not even good or strong or useful persona. It's just a persona, and it's just like, you know, like... You know what Dr. Disrespect reminds me of? He reminds me of the exact same, like, alpha male grifters that are, like, all over the place now. The Andrew Tates of the world, and so on. I mean, they're a dime a dozen. There's, like, a bunch of them. Andrew Tate is just the most well-known one. And that guy's a pathetic, fucking terrible grifter as well. Guess what? He is someone who partakes in human trafficking on the regular. Literally, that is his main job. He's a human trafficker. And so it's just like every single one of these guys have major problems. Almost like these so-called alpha male grifters are always terrible people. Shocking. Truly amazing. Who could have foreseen this crazy turn of events?
He became community manager for Sledgehammer Games at one point in time before quitting to focus on a full-time...
I actually don't know who Sledgehammer Games is.
Now, Dr. Disrespect's popularity led to multiple sponsorship deals, collaborations on various products, and while video game...
And he lost them all, by the way. If you haven't seen it in my previous video, Dr. Disrespect lost every single sponsorship. 2K Games, his character in 2K Games for NBA 2K, erased. The San Francisco 49ers, everyone's memeing them about how Dr. Disrespect just didn't read it correctly, and he signed up because he thought it was 40 minors. They dropped him like a sack of hot potatoes, man. YouTube completely demonetized every single video. He will never make a cent again. And so on and so forth. Every single company. Turtle Beach Studios, which makes like the headphones and stuff, they dropped him as well. Every single sponsorship he ever had is gone. The only person, the only group that is still continuing to even, like, you know, discuss with them or anything like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. You guys might be able to guess. Kick. Kick has no plans to preemptively ban Dr. Disrespect via Kick's head of strategic partnerships. I wonder why that is. Shocker that the website that is known for regularly harboring and showcasing and having on their front page complete and utter actually out and out pedophiles and gambling streams and other, like, you know, the worst of humanity. Shocker that they're not going to preemptively ban Dr. Disrespect. If that doesn't tell you a reason why Kick is one of the worst scums of humanity on the entire internet, I don't know what is. Coalescent, you want to know something funny? Do you know why there are no ads on Kick? It's because ad companies and any normal company refuses to do business with Kick. Because all they do is gambling. They showcase regular porn on there. They have people have sex on there constantly. Half their content is like IRL content where they're like, it's like a girl trying to kill an old homeless woman and stuff. by telling her to jump in a lake when she can't swim. Actual things that happen on Kick, by the way, and so on and so forth. That's why. That's why they literally cannot. Sometimes I think like you know, we are a society of laws, and I am very glad that we are. However, our justice system does have certain holes where, you know, cancel culture and social media do step in and sometimes does the heavy lifting that the justice system will not do. Justice system is very bad towards victims of sexual assault and rape and other, you know, terrible things, especially when they're children, especially when they're minors, and especially, by the way, when they're men. Because victims, when they're men, are often not listened to at all. In fact, 90% of male victims don't even report that they were sexually assaulted, even when they realize it down the road. They just realize it down the road, and they're like, no one's gonna believe me anyways. I'm not gonna bother even sharing it. That's how it happens for most men. It is the final day of Men's Health Month, so yes, I will say it. I will say it exactly for what it is. I'm sorry, except I'm not sorry. I will always speak the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is. But, be that as it may, sometimes social media takes the entire course itself, and cancel culture, in this case, completely works. There we go. That's why he lost everything. Dude, if social media didn't exist, guys, if social media did not exist, Dr. Disrespect would not be demonetized. He would still be on YouTube. He would still be grifting. The only reason his entire platform has been just sheer cut under him is because of social media. The rare social media W. I will always call the W's for what they are. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Coalescent, yes, Men's Health Month is the exact same month as Pride Month. Correct. Exactly.
Are fun. We also remember can be quite a lucrative career. Dr. Disrespect is reportedly worth over $10 million.
Yeah, it is sad, Existential Nerd. No one remembers Men's Mental Health Month. Men's Health Month. Yeah. No one realized it. I saw like 0 tweets about it. I saw 0 discussions about it and everything. It's kind of sad. And I'll probably make a video about that at some point as well. Talking about men's health. Would you guys like me to make a video just directly about men's health? I can do that. I mean, I worked 10 years in epidemiology. I could tell you the horrific statistics of men's health if you want. It's sad. It's sad. But yeah, I'll do that. If you guys want that, I'll do that.
But the doc's success, at least on Twitch, came crashing down in 2020.
Yeah.
Because Twitch banned his account, only saying that, quote, the streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers, regardless of status or prominence in the community. In fact, the site still shows a message that the account is banned if you try to see it.
Look at that.
Dr. Disrespect was also removed from this.
Oh, also, by the way, if you go to Dr. Disrespect's actual website now, it's gone. It just doesn't exist anymore.
Discord, that's another streaming app. And more than a month after his ban, Dr. Disrespect launched on YouTube, where he still has around 4 million subscribers. But here's the question. Why the ban? Why did this happen? Seemingly for allegedly inappropriately messaging a minor through Twitch. Last week, Cody Connors, a former Twitch employee, posted this to X, quote, he got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product.
Yep.
He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text, case closed.
Basically, this victim could have had one of the worst things possible happen to her. And it did not. This could have happened to her.
Dang. Now, Connors.
Now, it's terrible that she was a victim, you know, to be abused and preyed upon in DMs and everything as well. Absolutely. But it could have happened IRL. It could have happened IRL, and it didn't.
Actually name Beam in this tweet, but followers put 2 and 2
I consider
together.
that a giant W for
Twitch. By the way, is
Twitch.
a chat option.
They got rid of this
platform
fucking disgusting, horrible human being.
Users. The game studio that Beam had co-founded, Midnight Society, had fired him as well. The studio director, Robert Bowling, tweeted, this is a statement from me personally. It does not reflect any of my...
See, the thing is, like, I actually prefer when people are authentic. Like, the streamers that I follow, the people that I, like, you know, discuss, and you know, like, the streamers that I watch and everything, I prefer streams with authenticity. I don't like it when people play a character. Like, I could never play a character. The reason I'm able to stream every single night is because what you see is what you get. I am the literal me, and that is why I'm able to stream every single night after a day of work for the past 5 years, is because I'm me. I don't have to fake anything. I lack the ability to fake anything. I'm a terrible actor. I'm a terrible liar. I'm just me. That's why it's easy for me.
Companies and has not gone through any legal or PR approvals. If you inappropriately message a minor,
yeah,
I cannot work with you. Period. I promised to only act on facts, and I did.
I give this guy mad respect. Here's some context. Robert Bowling is the CEO of Dr. Disrespect's game company that he founded. He founded a game company called Midnight Society. They're making a crappy NFT extraction shooter. I've seen the game. It looks really bad. However, the CEO stood on business. Dr. Disrespect tried to play it off as, I'm mutually stepping away from this company. I'm getting bad press. I don't want them to be affected by the bad press. The CEO stepped in. He's like, no, this is a lie. I looked into the situation. My company looked into the situation. We're dropping him because he's a pedophile, essentially, in not so many words, but basically that. And he just said, no, you're gone. And him doing this, the Midnight Society game company doing this, and essentially ruining their entire financial future, ruining their future game, just do the right thing, is why everyone woke up to the fact that there's some real meat behind what was at this point just leaks and just rumors and just thoughts. And that's after this event is when actual real information came out, when all the leaks, became substantiated, when people actually started to have like the real discussions, when all the NDAs dropped, when Dr. Disrespect admitted to it. He knew the walls were closing in. He knew he was cornered. So there we go.
So with that in mind, I want to bring in renowned predator catcher, journalist, host
of
Takedown on True Blue, and the podcast Predators I've Caught with Chris Hansen. You know who I'm talking about. Chris Hansen.
There we go.
Good to see you. Welcome
the
back
legend.
To the show,
Hold on. Let me move my face. There we go.
Good to see you, Jesse. Quite a situation here, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that he got caught using, Twitch whispers, having an inappropriate conversation with somebody who was underage. Now, there's no evidence that he actually met this person or did anything with them,
and thank God for that,
or executed any plan. But he has admitted, as you know, in a statement you're going to get into shortly, that he made this contact, that he had this conversation. And ironically, this all came to a head just as he had signed an exclusive deal with Twitch that was going to be worth millions and millions of dollars. All of a sudden, they come to this agreement where they part company.
Yep.
Why? Well, apparently it's because of this communication he had. And whether or not he actually followed through on anything that was discussed, he has admitted that it was inappropriate. And I ask this question to everybody who surfaces in one of my investigations. Would you be comfortable if another adult, and this guy is like 42 years old now, approached...
Friendly reminder, he's 42 years old now, which means when these discussions and these whispers and everything happened, look at that pedo mustache going on over there, it happened when he was 35. He was 35 years old. This isn't some like 20-year-old. This isn't some 19-year-old. This isn't some, something like that, which is its own issue, but that is a different context. This is a 35-year-old grown man, fully grown.
Your child and said things like you said to this child, and the answer invariably is no.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be all right. The next question is, then why did you think it was all right? And we have not gotten an answer from Dr. Disrespect.
And we won't. We won't. He's become persona non grata. He's like disappeared off the face of the earth. But I want you to know, whenever he shows his ugly fucking face back on any website again, whether it's Kick or YouTube, if he tries again to create another YouTube channel or whatever, whenever he shows up again, because look, someone with his ego, he's not going to disappear off in the sunset. He's not going to like leave and never come back. He has way too much ego. He thinks he can get away with it. He will show up again. I know his type. I've seen his type. And his type will have the ego to think he can get away with it, create a new community, create, something from scratch, repair his his bonds and play, you know, games and grift more people out of money and so on. He thinks he'll be able to do this again at some point. And when he does, that's when we can ream him with these questions once more. Shame him. Make him feel like he's lower than the smallest, disgusting, smelliest piece of shit, because that's what he is. And keep doing it forever. That's what he deserves. I'm sincere about that.
On this matter so far.
So let's break something down real quick. And this is not to cast aspersions on the gaming community whatsoever, but in your experience, first, Twitch, that platform, that Whisper platform, in your experience, have you seen a lot of predators or alleged predators or people who have been accused of similar thing using that?
There's a lot.
I'm not an expert necessarily on Twitch. I know Twitch and you know, Discord can be used, obviously, for inappropriate content. But my understanding of this Whispers chat feature is that it's not widely used. It was almost to many people who use Twitch or observe gamers.
For all the lovely people in here, for anyone who's been on Twitch for any number of years, have you ever used the Twitch Whisper system? I have never used the Twitch Whisper system. UTS, yes, this is about Dr. Disrespect. I've made multiple videos on YouTube about it, discussed the situation very, very in-depth. Often? Okay, gotcha. Used a few times? I have never used... I've had this system used towards me a few times, and I don't look at my whispers on Twitch. I don't look at my whispers on Twitter. I don't look at my whispers on any other website except for Discord. And the reason is that Discord has like many more barriers for like who can whisper you and so on. But you know, these other websites like Twitch and other ones do not. And so people just regularly yell slurs at me on them. So I just never use them for that reason. I was just curious how many people used him. Yeah. Not everyone has Discord. That's true. That's true. UTS, my friend. How are you doing tonight? If you like the discussion, drop a follow. Welcome to Corey Crew. We do lots of fun stuff. JVK is a great friend of ours.
On Twitch, it almost seems as if it was some sort of an afterthought that they added it on like the old Facebook communication line. And so I don't think it is widely used. So we've never come across it actually being used by any known predators in the past, at least in our investigation.
Quite the allegations, to say the least. Look, the world can be a scary place, I always say. And the truth is, one of the scariest things that can happen to you, something that comes out of nowhere, is if you get hurt, if you get injured. But that is why I want to talk to you about our incredible sponsor, Morgan & Morgan.
Oh, Morgan. Dude, Morgan & Morgan? Oh, my Lord, man. I actually have a friend that was in a car accident and had to use Morgan & Morgan. And she got money out of the insurance company for doing it. So,
the largest injury law firm. This is a firm that has secured verdicts and settlements in the millions. A firm that makes it super...
By the way, this number in the millions is by volume. The thing that they do is basically they have such a big name that they're able to force settlements for like a smaller amount of money. But the person that is injured often doesn't know they're getting less money than they would if they work with someone who is, you see, when I was in my car accident, I worked with a much smaller law firm. And I got quotes from Morgan & Morgan. I got quotes from the small law firm that I actually use. I got quotes from a lot of law firms. And what they do is essentially, Morgan & Morgan is like the large one. So everyone, you know, knows their name. And so they work by volume. They'll give you like, what, 20% less money, but they don't care because they're making it at a larger amount, a wholesale. And the insurance companies that they get money out of, they don't mind too much because they're giving less money than you would have gotten if you worked with a small law firm. And basically, if you don't know this occurs, you're pretty okay with it. So, yeah, that's kind of what happens. It's a weird model. No, working on wholesale is a very common model. It's weird that it, like when it's used in law, but it's just an iteration of working at wholesale in anything. Like, dude, Costco. Look at Costco. Costco makes money because they're able to buy things in the lots of like thousands and thousands and thousands, and they sell it to you in a very large lot as well. You buy like 50 cans of gravy instead of like 2. And so you pay a smaller unit price, but you're buying an entire like giant chunk and lot of it. So that's kind of how this kind of situation works. Talking about corporate lawyers. So Morgan & Morgan is injury lawyers. Injury lawyers. They do some corporate stuff as well, but they mainly work with injuries.
For their clients for this whole process, because from starting your claim to uploading documents to signing contracts to talking to your legal team, it can all be done from your smartphone. That's it. Seeing if you have a case only takes a few minutes. This is a firm also.
Powerlux says, I think this is what maybe is being referred to as either the old Twitch friend DM system or the old Curse messaging app system, which was part of Twitch at one point. I think it's the second one, Powerlux. I'm not sure, but I think it's the second one.
There's no upfront fee. You only pay them if you win. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar or by dialing pound law, that's pound 529 on your phone.
Right. Law big bro.
Now I want to get into
so I wanted to specify I'm not a lawyer in any way, shape, or form, Chillsash. I did take the LSAT, so I know a little bit of background knowledge from that. But mainly, I work in business every day, and I work a lot in corporate law. In terms of, I'm not a lawyer, but I own my own business, so I've had to write legal documents. I've had to sign many legal documents. I have to know the background of a lot of the laws in the corporate world just due to my work. So that's why I have like some background on this, but I will never pretend to know things I don't know. So the things I do know, I'll tell you. Like, for example, when the earlier videos about the subject, about NDAs and stuff, the reason I know about settlements and NDAs is because I've done settlements, I've done NDAs, I've signed them, I've used them in the corporate world, you know, between two companies when, you know, a settlement needs to occur for just a completely normal business thing. And they work in very similar ways. Yeah.
Beam's response and get your take on it. So Beam had posted on X, I believe back on June 22nd, listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch.
It's so funny because he kept using the legal verbiage, the no wrongdoing was found and everything, but the problem is it just continued to implicate him. It's so wacky. It's so wacky.
But I just need to say what I can say, since this is the effing internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found. And
again, the reason nothing illegal was found is because no charges were pressed. If the victim settles out of court, no charges can be pressed. That's the thing.
Was paid.
They were still a victim. He still did something terrible. He still got reamed for it, but it couldn't be done legally in a court of law. That is why.
Then he releases this statement on X. Actually, before I even get into the next statement, what did you make of that statement first, Chris?
Well, obviously there was an issue. As I mentioned earlier, they had just signed this major exclusive deal between Dr. Disrespect and Twitch. He probably did get paid. There was something that Twitch.
Okay. My reading, because of my knowledge of Twitch, my knowledge of settlements, he got paid. The reason he got paid is because Twitch had to break the contract. Twitch broke the contract because they wanted to protect the victim. The victim did not want to press charges. If the victim pressed charges and this was put into court of law, and he got found guilty of inappropriate messages, things like that, being a pedophile, blah blah blah, it would have been hard to do, but not impossible. It probably could have happened. We don't know that. We can't rewrite history, but it didn't happen. And as a result of that, in order to protect the victim, Twitch had to take the millions of dollars hit to break his contract and settle. That is why. That way, the victim is protected. She remains anonymous. And, all of her information remains anonymous. She probably got money out of Dr. Disrespect as well in order to make this settlement statement as well. Because he doesn't want charges pressed against him. In order for him to have charges not pressed against him, he settles out of court with the victim. The victim doesn't want her future life ruined. She and her parents take the money and they decide to remain completely anonymous so they know their lives will not be ruined in the future. Everyone is not happy but content enough with the situation. That's what happened. That is in almost 99.99% chance exactly what happened. That's why.
Thought was bad enough, offensive enough, inappropriate enough to get out of this deal they had just signed that was important to Twitch and important to Dr. Disrespect. So something happened there that even in this...
Yeah, Dark, that was his wife, yes. So, by the way, Dr. Disrespect has cheated on his wife multiple times. He's a terrible human being. But when a terrible human being, you know, is a terrible human being with an adult, it's a bit of a different story. Like, it's come out, like, who he's cheated on with, the fact that he was, you know, at the same time, we discussed this in my previous video as well, his DMs with a transsexual sex worker also came out as well. And this was more just to show that he was a scumbag. And he is a scumbag for those things. But the minor situation is a completely different level. The other things shows that he's just an ugly human being. But the minor shows that he's like just reprehensible and doesn't belong in any platform ever of all time. So yeah, what a fumble indeed.
Grayish ethical gaming community at times, something that was offensive enough to make them call off this deal or to bring it to an end. And I'm sure everybody did get paid.
By the way, as a result of the settlement, we have confirmed that YouTube did know about the allegations levied against Dr. Disrespect and why he was taken off of Twitch when he got banned. They still chose to give him a platform on YouTube. They didn't give him a full-fledged contract, not like they did for like Courage or anyone else, or the Ludwig or anyone else, but he was still able to be put on the platform. Yeah.
Let's get into the statement now.
Yeah, exactly. Dark, exactly. You shouldn't cheat on your wife regardless, but holy fuck, she's gorgeous. Yeah, Dr. Disrespect's wife is gorgeous. She chose to stick with him, and a lot of people are using this against her. And I think this is not a correct thing to do, because in a situation like this, I know a lot of people that have stuck with a bad relationship for many reasons. For stability sometimes, for their child, because Dr. Disrespect and his wife do have a kid. Sometimes it's for money. Sometimes it's for whatever reason. Sometimes they think that their man will change or their partner will change, and they stick with the bad situation, hoping and praying that their partner will change. And they don't realize that it'll never happen. And they're a victim in and of itself as well. I only pity his wife. I only pity his wife.
Where he essentially, in his words, says what happened. So he writes in a statement, let's cut the F and BS. As you know, there's no filter with me.
Cheating happens every day. It's nothing to do to humanity. But what really should be called out is the minor situation. Exactly.
He's been upfront and real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were...
I love how he says this like it even matters. Like, this is the only sentence that is needed here. Done. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor? Yes. And also, by the way, he tried to take out the word minor and was called out for it. He had to put it back in because millions of people saw the original statement and called him out on it. It's just ridiculous, man. Oh, my Lord.
Casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. And by the way...
So the reason I wanted to pause it here is also because, again, I want to point out, this is for clarity, and this is for all the people that are confused about it on social media and everything. The reason that you have to not assume the best about him is because he, in this statement, is writing himself in the absolute best light. So we don't know how many minors he's messaged. He's never he's never been able to state the age of the minor. And why is that? He didn't specify 17, which means it is very likely the girl was younger. That's the thing. Always remember, when someone is making a statement like this, they are putting themselves in the most positive light possible.
Me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. And by the way, that's correct. Beam has not faced any sort of criminal.
Darkass, I mean, isn't it illegal to talk to a minor in an illicit manner? No, it's not. The thing is that it is in some ways, but charges have to be brought. You have to have charges brought against you. You have to defend yourself in court and so on and so forth. It becomes a legal battle. If a victim does not bring forth those charges, that basically makes him able to say, I didn't do anything illegal. It's not that he didn't do anything bad. He absolutely did. But charges were not brought because they settled out of court. And they settled out of court for very, very, real and true and viable reasons. The girl didn't want to, be made public. She would have to be made public as a defendant. She didn't want her future life to be ruined. Her parents probably thought it was best for her to, them to heal on their own, things like that, which is totally fair. This is a family decision, which, is hard to do. And, but also Dark. This illustrates why it is so hard to catch predators in a legal standpoint as well. This is why. He looks like a creepy gym teacher. Yeah, he does. I've had creepy gym teachers. Exactly right. But yeah, Darkstorm, that's why there's such a large amount of legal protection essentially given to perpetrators of sexual crimes against minors, especially against victims of all kinds, but especially against minors. That's why the Me Too movement was so huge, because it was the first time there was a large-scale pushback against perpetrators of people who use their platform to be predators towards women, towards minors, even towards men. The Me Too movement should have, been strongly against victims that are men as well. That was a failing of the Me Too movement. But yeah, that's why.
Criminal charges related to these allegations, and it's not our understanding there's any kind of investigation that's happening. But he continued. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should never have entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a...
Yeah, Harakanya makes a big point. It doesn't help how popular he is. She would 100% not be believed and harassed. Exactly, Harakanya. That is the God's honest truth. God's honest truth. And also remember, these messages happened to her in 2017. It was only reported in 2020 because that's only when Twitch was able to make and they were forced essentially by the Me Too movement and that entire situation and the entire lexicon and general world changing to the point that they felt compelled to make a reporting system against predators and so on. They were called out. So I've been on Twitch since 2019. So I have some history on this, guys. So I know a lot of people, we have varying levels of time on Twitch and so on. And anyone watching this YouTube video might not even be on Twitch. So Twitch had a major problem with a lot of predators. They were called out often for the predators that were on Twitch and had done things off Twitch to be predators. They'd sent messages. They've been called out, all kinds of crazy shit. And so Twitch needed a system in order to report these people and get them dealt with, to be able to create an investigation and so on and so forth, and then get them off the platform. It is something that you can't really deal with on an individual basis. You have to create an entire, because Twitch is a large website. There's millions of people on Twitch every single day. So when something like this happens, you have to create the background. You have to create the actual platform in order to deal with this on a large scale. Scalability is important. And that is why the reporting system was made. This was a big W on Twitch. It should have been done earlier, in my opinion, but, it was at least done. And that's when you got to see people getting banned over and over and over again for things done on and off of Twitch in a predator-level manner. This is something that happened. And that's like a little bit of the timeline of why and how it happened as well.
Father, Should never have happened.
Drake's been real silent. Yeah, exactly.
Happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll effing own my stuff. This was stupid. I'm no effing predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me effing knows.
And I don't know if Chris Hansen will jump on this, but I can tell you I've watched a lot of To Catch a Predator, and what he's saying now. Are you kidding me? No, everyone who knows me knows where I stand. I would never do this. This is disgusting, blah, blah. Every single predator that Chris Hansen has ever caught talks in this exact same way. The exact same words. The exact same manner. I just want to point that out. Just a little bit of irony here.
Knows where I stand on those things with those types of people. F that. That's a different level of disgust that I effing hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Chris, your take on that
here we go.
Well, I think, a couple of things. One, it shows a clear lack of judgment that he would even enter into a conversation like this with somebody who's underage, even though it was
exactly
back in 2017, it's a man in his 30s at the time. And what are you thinking? Yeah. Why would you even get...
Yeah, the best case scenario, existential, is that he's in denial. And like, that doesn't make it any better, but that's the best case scenario. You're right.
Into a conversation with somebody of that age that approaches being inappropriate. Okay. And yes, he apparently did not act on any of this. He was not criminally charged. And maybe he's not a predator or a pedophile. And there's no indication to say that he is. But why?
It's entirely possible, very unlikely, but Chris Hansen has to say this because there is a 1% chance. The 0.01% chance. That's the thing.
Why are you having the conversation?
Yep.
It shows, in the best case scenario, a lack of judgment. In the worst case scenario, he got caught before he did something. And I don't want to...
Exactly. He got caught before he did something.
Go overboard and
speculate. And thank God he didn't do anything.
He's not facing any criminal charges. But this community will ratchet this up and use it any way they can to show disrespect to Dr. Disrespect, because they get clout, they get views by creating drama for somebody who's very popular. So this culture in some ways is like an ant farm. They feed off the anger towards each other, and it keeps spinning and spinning until the drama, ultimately sometimes gets out of control. So
he's right. When people are making things up, it is always a negative situation. That is why being truthful, being authentic, and being honest about the good, bad, and ugly, about all sides of the story, is always important. And if you look at the credits, I will always be completely authentic. If there is, I've said that there is a possibility he is completely innocent. It's very, very small. It's extremely unlikely, and these are the reasons why, but there is one. Of course there is.
Yeah.
But then he wouldn't admit it, So that makes it extremely unlikely.
You can raise all the questions you want about the communications. You can acknowledge that there was no criminal activity here, apparently. But this community is going to play this for all it's worth because
Absolutely.
They're selfish and they want to bring attention and drama to themselves. It's the way.
Not really. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I've received more death threats and hate on this subject than any other YouTube I've made so far. It only has given me negative messages and stuff, and I don't mind that because I'm speaking the truth, and I'm speaking the whole truth with full context. I think it's important for social media to act on things like this when the justice system has major holes. And the justice system for victims absolutely has holes. It is very clear what those holes are.
This ecosystem is.
And just to clarify this a little bit, there were unnamed sources, this is reporting by Bloomberg, that confirmed Mr. Connor's count that I'd mentioned before. And two of those sources had said that Mr. Beam had asked this minor about her plans at TwitchCon. This, by the way, is an annual convention.
Yes.
For streamers and fans and gamers. But, I guess the thing...
Chill Sash, you shouldn't be proud that he didn't do anything. Not being a creep and not talking to minors is literally not that hard. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. He's trying to paint himself in the most positive light. That's why no matter what happens when someone tries to paint themselves in a positive light, the reality is always worse. It is always worse. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. Whenever two sides are going at it, someone says, oh, this guy's the worst scum of humanity. And the other guy says, oh, no, I'm a saint. Reality is oftentimes in the middle.
Was when he talks about in his statement about not having the intention, part of me wondered if he was putting on a persona, right? He was playing this role of Dr. Disrespect, and maybe he was a little too fluid in his words, but he had no intention of actually, you know, meeting up with her or engaging in any kind of
doesn't matter
explicit conduct or doing anything like that. If he didn't have any plans, but he was playing a role, maybe being inappropriate. What would you say to that?
Armchair people always have to play a devil's advocate. It's a lawyer thing to do. So this is what he's doing.
That, like, he was basically putting on a persona. And again,
it sounds like an excuse that I hear from a predator in one of our investigations.
There it is. It's an excuse he often hears on To Catch a Predator.
This is role playing.
Yep.
You know, I didn't think she was being truthful about her age. Well, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good.
It may not be.
Well, it's pretty fucking bad, man.
It shows very poor judgment. And so, why do you even have the conversation?
Exactly.
Right. What's the
well, he could say. Could he say, "Hey, listen, I'm a big game."
I think we have to. Like I said, I've said this before on other videos. I've talked about social media many times, and I will say it again. I think we have gotten rid of too much. We lack shame in today's society. We need to have more shaming of people publicly, in my opinion. When you shame people for terrible acts, they do those acts less. I am a firm believer of that. I'm 100% firm believer of that.
I'm trying to meet my fans. Have you heard any, like, what would you say if that was the case?
Maybe. Well, then that's possible. And again, there was no crime committed here, but it doesn't look good. And whatever is in the exact text was enough for Twitch to call off and kill with a cash
and lose millions of dollars at the same time.
Settlement.
Yeah, exactly. The ring.
Very big exclusive Twitch deal that was going to be lucrative for both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So it had to be bad enough for them to kill that.
And let's talk about the aftermath of this. So he did apologize to his team. He apologized to the gaming community. But in the aftermath, it really hasn't gone well for Beam because I already mentioned some of the fallout, but also Turtle Beach, a sponsor, removed all of its Dr. Disrespect branded products from its website.
There it is.
The San Francisco 49ers, who had worked with him in the past for...
What a fumble, man. Beautiful kid, beautiful wife. What a fucking fumble.
Promotion said they're no longer going to work with him. When it comes to fellow streamers...
He could have rode off in the sunset. All he had to do was not go for a minor. That's it. That is it. His wife even forgave him for cheating on her multiple times. He's like the biggest fucking idiot ever. Ever. Like, holy shit, man. Like, how dumb can you possibly be, man? How pathetic.
Called him out.
Holy crap.
Beam said that he's taking now an extended vacation, but that he'll be back. What do you make of that response?
One can only hope the vacation is forever. Because whenever he comes back, I will continue to call him the predator that he is.
From the sponsors in the gaming
so will the rest of the world.
About how they might be jumping onto it, but yeah.
Right. It sounds like somebody who's, tried
running away,
placate the haters and take some responsibility for what he did. And now is going to try and lay low.
Yep.
He's made a ton of money already.
Yep.
He has 4.7 million subs on YouTube. His videos get an average of 500,000 to 1 million each episode. So he's making money. He's made money. And now
the thing is that hopefully we have been able to make it harder for him to make money in the future. That's the thing. We don't want to have him continue to coast on his nonsensical and disgusting success. Like I said, for the past 4 years, he's played the victim when he caused a victim.
Appears he's going to try and lay low, and one would hope to reevaluate his conduct online.
So, Chris, there's been reporting, by the way, that he edited that statement, that he first didn't have the word minor. And
it's not even reporting. You can literally look at it on Twitter. It's not reporting. You can find it to this day. You click the little button where it says edited, you see the exact history. This is one of the rare W's that Twitter has. You can see exactly what statements have been edited, how, when, and where.
Then added it back in. That's been the reporting. He's been very careful, it seems, about how he crafting that message.
Exactly, Harkanya.
Well, apparently the word minor was in there, and then he took it out, and then a lot of people called him out for it, and he put it back in, is my understanding. So he reacted to the outcry that surfaced on X when he took the word out, and so he put it back in. Apparently,
the rare time that we stood on business, guys. The rare time the entire gaming community, the entire Twitter community, stood on fucking business.
It's in his statement says,
rare W.
They want me to disappear. Yeah, effing right. What do you make of that?
Well,
extradition countries, yeah, most countries are. Australia, New Zealand, Costa Rica. The reason I bring up Costa Rica is he mentioned Costa Rica in his last stream like many, many times. Costa Rica is like one of the closest cities to the U.S. in South America, actually. Like, if I've been to Costa Rica, we almost did some projects there before COVID happened, and Costa Rica literally uses dollars. Like, you can go there with U.S. dollars and live like a king. It's crazy.
He's obviously planning for his second or
it's
third
super
act,
westernized, super Americanized.
Going to try and get back into the game, but when you do have an inappropriate conversation with a minor, it is something that's going to tag you for a very long time, and probably should.
I bet you he's going to come back and write another book. The one of the ways that I know he's going to try to make money is he's going to try to write another book, because this is not something that is blackballed from him. This is something that we can call him out on and everything like that, and we will. But this is something that he will try to do, because the only site that he can stream on now is either Rumble or Kick. That's it. And he could probably stream on those sites. And it might actually work for him to do that. It'll suck when that happens, and we'll definitely call it out. But that just shows how shitty Kick is and how shitty Rumble is.
All the allegations are true.
Yeah, I never read that, Chill, but yeah, you might be right.
We'll see where this goes. Chris Hansen, good to see you. Check him out on True Blue. Check out his podcast, Predators I've Caught. Takedown with Chris Hansen.
Dude, the amount of grooming that happened on that site. Yeah, holy shit, man.
Great to see you, Chris. Thanks so much for breaking down these stories for us.
Thank you, Jesse.
That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar.
That was a fair accounting. That was a fair accounting. They're very real with the conversation. I was hoping for more memeage, but it was a good video. It was a good video. Give it a like, give it a sub if you enjoy this kind of law content. Share it with your friends if you'd like. Yeah, Maple Story, Gaia. Yep, exactly. Shit, World of Warcraft. God damn. Anything where kids are on and also adults are on. It's happened many places. Shit happens on Twitter today. The amount of grooming that happens on Twitter and Discords, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's so many big issues, and that's why I'm glad that people are talking about it. A lot have moved on to Roblox. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, if you're a predator, you move to where the prey is. Where are the kids playing? They're playing Valorant. They're playing League of Legends. They're playing actually World of Warcraft is now older nowadays, so mostly an older crowd. Not completely, but older. Minecraft. Why are there so many predators on Minecraft? How many predators have been outed on Minecraft in the last 3 years? It's like a dozen. It's like several dozen. It's crazy how many. Because kids play Minecraft. Roblox, exactly the same thing. Exactly. Amino? I don't know Amino, but yeah, I guess so, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. What is Amino? Or amino? Is it amino or amino? My brain is thinking amino, but it could be like amino acids. Trust me, I grew up on there. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I trust you. I just don't know what it is. Oh, it's amino. Okay, so it's like amino acids. Yeah. In like an RPG or an MMO or something? Actually curious. What is amino? What is amino? Okay. Ah, okay. Interesting. Disturbing truth about amino. Oh boy. Hold on, I gotta change my display settings for a moment. There we go. Did it mess it up for you guys? Fandom chats. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I mean, dude, chat rooms? Holy shit, man. I grew up on a lot of chat rooms back in the day. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I saw some shit. I saw some shit. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'll probably watch this off stream. Because I feel like it's this. The disturbing truth about Amino. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that might be too heavy for tonight, but I'll put this in my to watch list. AIM and Yahoo? Yeah, Instant Messenger is what I used. I used AIM. I used Yahoo as well. I used AIM. The other website, oh my god. It was student.com. I think it was student.com. And it was basically like an entire like big ass chat room for kids in like middle school and high school, which is when I used it, middle school and high school. And dude, that place was shit, man. Shit, man. That place was bad. That place was really bad. Oh my god. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And that's why it's important to call them out. That's why it's important to call all of this stuff out.